Hi everyone, this is Julianne Victoria. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the 2022 Year Ahead Vedic Astrology readings. So these readings will be looking at the planetary placements in the year ahead. So the planetary placements on January 1st, 2022 and how they relate to your chart. Of course, as usual, to get a more in-depth personal reading, a personal reading will be required. And I am opening up readings for year ahead readings, Vedic astrology, Western astrology, as well as some tarot reading options. And the link is below in the description box for that. Also, if you're interested in taking one of my online courses that I offer over on Teachable, those will only be available through the end of 2021. And those include the Journey Through the Nakshatras course and Shedding Light on Your Karma and Dharma. Those courses include PDFs and downloads. So if you're interested in those, you want to get them before they're not available anymore, check below, find the links. I'll pin them at the top of the comments as well so you can find them and see if it's something you're interested in. All right, let's get on to our year ahead readings. Hi Libra, welcome to your 2022 Year Ahead Vedic Astrology reading. So here we have a chart for January 1st, 2022 to see how the energies of the year lay out for you. So here we have you, Libra, in the first house. Looking over at your second house of money, gains, finances, possessions, material things, I call it the house of stuff, our stuff, is the sign of Scorpio, which I'm sure you know. And in your second house, as the year begins, we have Ketu, Mars, and the moon. Now, what is really interesting is that the moon, as well as Mars, are in the nakshatra of Jeshta. And if Scorpio isn't an intense enough sign, Jeshta is a very intense nakshatra. And the moon here brings in a lot of intuitive insight, a lot of focus. I actually kind of want to say a lot of attention seeking, which I wasn't expecting to say that, but that just popped into my head. In this second house of material things, of money, of stuff. So combined with Mars here, Moon and the Mars, kind of opposing energies, right? Fiery, passionate, ambitious, combative Mars with emotional, intuitive, watery Moon. In a watery sign of Scorpio, which is ruled by fiery Mars, right? There's these opposing energies that I feel could create, I actually want to say inner conflict, probably because of Jeshta and the Scorpio energy. Inner conflict when it comes to your material and possessions and stuff. Now with Ketu here, in a natal chart representing past lives, past karma, in a transit chart or transient chart like this, it's more about the past year of 2021, the past 20 years, the past of this lifetime, potentially some past life stuff. But again, this is a general reading. It's more likely to be concerning the past year or two or three. Whatever's gone on in the past few years, or maybe a pattern in your lifetime, Libra, concerning money, it could potentially even be inheritance, gifts. Second house is often money and possessions that come to us not from our income. Sometimes that overlaps though. Or how you've handled money. Maybe you've been more of this Mars energy. Again, he's strong here because he rules Scorpio. And been, bought things on a whim, or you're passionate about, a purse and you bought it and it was a lot of money. Or you emotionally buy. I feel like there's lessons to learn from the past. Whether it's that example I gave, of course, it's going to be different for each Libra out there. But there's some sort of inner conflict, the lessons of which can be learned from the past and our past actions and our past experiences and how we've felt and how we've acted concerning towards money and possessions. So this could be reflecting a specific conflict some Libras have. Let's say with a sibling and you're fighting over something, but it feels strongly internal. The key is here though, where the moon is, Jeshta, to reflect, do introspection, reflect upon the past, Don't let your passions and any desire for conflict, I want to say, elude you, create illusion. And sit and reflect before making major purchases, or before selling something, or before, I don't know, giving away your possessions, or if there's a conflict with someone about something financial, material. Reflect upon it first. Scorpio, besides a sign of death, change, and transformation, and the esoteric and occult, is a sign of research. And that research energy is coming strong through in the year ahead readings I've done so far. Do your internal research and your internal or reflective research upon the past when it comes to financial, money, material, possession things before taking action. And from that, you can benefit greatly. So that's important. That does tell me that there are material and financial things to be conflicted about. So that could be good. But don't let this Mars energy override your intuition, your reflection, how you feel. You can even say your gut instinct on things. The past is going to advise the present on these matters. Now, opposite K2, of course, we have Rahu, because this is the nodal axis. Rahu is here in the 8th house, right? 8th house, 8th sign of Scorpio, similar energy. 8th house of death, change, and transformation. Again, the esoteric and occult, as well as research. Grounded energy of Taurus here. Rahu brings in karmic actions, or actions you want to put into play, and in the sense, the year ahead into 2022. I want to say the intentions you want to place as you begin the year. I kind of want to say your New Year's resolutions, even if that's not something you do. It's the intentions or the focus you have for the year ahead, what you're motivated to do. 8th house, bring about big changes. You don't want how things have been in the past. And that can be directly speaking to financial stuff, but it could be other things as well. You don't want things to be how they have been. You want things to be better. You're ambitious. This is ambition and motivation. You're motivated, sign of Taurus, a lot of growth, springtime energy, right? You want things to grow that either have sprouted already or that you want to sprout in the new year, that you want to change, that you want to transform. And I feel that's both internal, but very strongly as also external. You want change in your life. And it's got to start within. And how you feel and view money and finances. That's a part of that self-reflection on all those things. And it's from that this motivation and ambition to bring about changes that you want to grow, changes that you want to create, or what you want to create. Taurus is ruled by Venus, very creative energy. Those things can be put into play. That will continue to play out karmically for you. So it's a year of big change. I guess that's what I'm saying. A year of you bringing about big changes through reflecting upon, researching internally, and learning from the past, especially concerning material matters. Okay. Let's move on. So in your 3rd house, Libra, your 3rd house is the sign of Sagittarius. We have the Sun and Venus together. 3rd house is a house of communication, community, commuting. So it's short distance travel, your neighbors, your siblings, the people around you, hence community and communication. It's also a house of self-motivation, which is not something I bring up a whole lot, but I feel that's important here given your karmic axis here, your nodal axis here. And the Sun being here, the Sun representing the soul, your light, and your joy. I feel the Sun here actually fires up your self-motivation this year, which may be to communicate to other people. It could be to write that book. It could be to go on more short distance trips, weekend trips, etc. But I feel like more it's about to fire up your self-motivation. It's very the adventure sign of Sagittarius, the idea sign. Fire up your ideas, your openness to adventure, your desire to let it's not like I feel you've been lacking self-motivation, but to let yourself be your main source of motivation rather than things external, family, friends, the world, society, whatever. You want to expand your horizons with this Sagittarius energy. And that may literally open up your physical world around you, your community, etc. But it's really about you letting you be the source of your motivation, self-motivation, Rahu, also motivation, so that you can bring about the changes you want. That's important here. Now, Venus is here in the third house as well. So Venus in the third, often indicates like beautiful communication. Venus represents the voice. So she has sort of even though Mercury's communication, she has sort of a toe in that realm of communication because she's about beautiful expression. And she's retrograde as the year begins, which more internalizes the energy. And what I'm feeling here is you being nicer to yourself. Of course, Venus is your ruler, Libra, right? You being nicer to yourself, you communicating nicer to yourself. So I want to say, listen to your internal dialogue. You may already be aware of this. This may come about through this research into the past and into listening to your intuition and what you reflect upon here with this energy. But listen to yourself. See if you talk yourself out of things, you unmotivate yourself, you self-sabotage, and instead change your attitude towards yourself. This doesn't mean that every Libra has a bad attitude towards themselves, but we all have that internal dialogue like, oh, I can't do that, or I can't do that. Like, find the ways in which you talk yourself out of shining and motivating yourself, and instead pump yourself up. Not in a fake sort of way, but just switch like those self-defeating, self-unmotivating thoughts, right? Now, in an external sense, this can mean like this combination, Sun and Venus in the third, when it comes to talking to your neighbors, your community, communication in general, writing your blog or a book or whatever, is that things will come out nicely. You'll be able to express yourself eloquently, beautifully, in a way that people see you and notice you. Okay. Let's move on to your fourth house. So in your fourth house, the sign of Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn, who's here. We also have Mercury here. So we have Mercury and Saturn here in your fourth house of home, family, property, as well as, specifically mother, past lives, past karma, etc. Usually in the general readings, the focus is on your home, your family, where you live. Now, Saturn here, very strong here in his own sign of Capricorn, brings about great stability. So if you're living somewhere or in a family situation that is stable, I would say stay there, unless something comes up and it's like you have to move. But this is like you have a foundation. If you don't have that yet, I would say in 2022, you'll be able to establish yourself in a home environment, whether you're renting or owning or whatever, where you want to be for a while. Saturn is long-term energy. Of course, Saturn can be obstacles. I'm not picking that up here very much, but it's potential. There are obstacles concerning home and family or property this year. And then you have to ask yourself, is this where or what I want long-term? If so, build on that foundation. If not, make some change and find where you want to establish yourself, at least for the foreseeable future. We can't all predict, a year, 10 years from now, but where you think you want to be established, that's important. With Mercury here, that brings in, the intellectual mind, thinking, planning, organizing, especially this combination of energy, Mercury and Saturn. How can I bring this together? What do I want to do? For those who are students, intellectuals, you like to read lots of books, doing lots of research besides internal research, like your home has to be a quiet, supportive place. Saturn's the supportive energy, in order to do that stuff. So if you're not in that type of environment, you'll need to bring about some changes, and you will with Rahu here in the 8th. If you are, great. You've got that set. Build upon that. Okay. 5th house. In your 5th house, you have Jupiter Libra in the sign of Aquarius. Jupiter brings growth and expansion, right? Good luck, auspiciousness in an auspicious house. 5th house is a house of creativity, children, anything you create, whether you're an artist or not, education up through high school, as well as romance, or I call it the dating house, right? Where the the dating part of relationships, potential relationships is. And Jupiter's here. So Jupiter is great for those who are creative or you want to create something. It's also a house of entrepreneurship. You want to build a business. Brings in the energy for that to grow and expand nicely. If it comes to wanting and having children, Jupiter's good energy there, right? He will help your belly to grow if you're a woman, or your family to grow. If you don't want children right now, with Jupiter here in the 5th, take precautions. Yes. And when it comes to romance life or dating life, you could have a very active dating life, more active than in the past. So it's relative, right? And it's a sign of Aquarius, which, it's a very social sign. So single Libras out there looking to date, you could have a pretty active social dating life in 2022. Whether that's in person or online, depending on, situation of lockdowns, etc. Okay, so that's how the planets look for you as the year begins, Libra. Some deep, heavy, introspective stuff, especially concerning money. Maybe your relationship to money, or how you've handled some specific financial situation or possession. But that's going to be stuff you need to learn from, or maybe you have learned from it going into the year ahead. Every Libra will be different. And almost sort of like your guidebook, in a sense, guidebook of experiences that will help motivate you and guide you to bring about whatever changes you want in the year ahead. And those changes can be in any area of your life. All right, Libra, I'm wishing you a wonderful 2022. Check the description box below for any relative links. And yes, I'll see you back here soon.